Today's randomly generated mug elements are the Cool Toned Patchwork box. So I've got a lot of blues and greens. Not quite sure what I'm going to want to use. I'm kind of leaning towards these vines, but we'll see. We'll see. The second item was the Alchemy Sheets in black. And then the third one was I get to pick. Now, I'm partial to Death's Head moths. I think they're fantastic. And I happen to have skulls that are the correct size for me to do like a Silence of the Lambs kind of thing. And so that's what I want to go with. I'm going to go with a simple, straightforward, kind of creepy design. And I'm excited about it because I love anything with skulls. So I'm excited to play around with that. I think I want to go for the slightly larger moth. Yeah. And this box has a bunch of other things. I don't really think I want to go with much of anything else. I really do want it just to be like a Silence of the Lambs kind of call out, you know? And I don't think it's gonna need a bunch of other stuff from this box. I might do like more skulls and just have... Will I? Hold on. I could do... I don't want to use the plaid. I really like the vines. And like I could do like vines kind of like growing out around it. I've got a couple different kinds and colors of lace, but I don't think I want to use lace. I might just use the vines. I like the vines. It does beg the question of as elements or just as a background. And I think I might just do as a background. Keep things simple, because I think simple is going to be my friend for this one. So I think one skull with the one moth and a vine-covered background. And I think that'll be good. I do want to cut out the moth. So I'm gonna speed up from here, and once I'm done with the moth, I'll come back. Okay. Get rid of all these little bits. I do think I'm just gonna do a full background of the vines. Because I don't want to do something that's going to be too distracting. And I want it to be like a full wraparound design. I just don't think it needs to be something crazy. So let's cut out our vines. Straight-walled mug for my own sanity's sake. Ah, sorry, mug. Okay, let's do I'm gonna fold this so it's nice. It's even enough. I'm gonna just pop this down. I'm gonna give myself plenty of room at the top and the bottom. Cool. All right. And just like usual, I'm going to give myself an edge that doesn't just abruptly stop. I'm gonna cut off this little bit right here though, because that does abruptly stop, and I don't want it. Right. I'm gonna do wrap around. I don't like how that's sitting. So let's wrap around a different way. Okay. And we'll do that. We have our vines. Now let's get this going. I want I don't know why I'm making that more difficult than I need to. Figure out where the skull's gonna go. And then where in relation to the skull I want the moth to go. Hold the moth in place, pull the skull off. I did end up cutting the legs and the antenna off of the moth, at least on the top half, just because there was gonna be no convenient way for me to like get around placing it properly without either white having to show through from the skull or gaps in where you would actually see the skull on the moth, and I just didn't feel like dealing with that. And once I cut off the antenna, the legs, in my mind, looked a little bit funky, so I just got rid of the legs and the antenna on the top altogether. It looks weird now, but once the skull is in place, I think it kind of evens itself back out and looks good. So that's what's going on there. Just to explain why there's no legs or antenna, I'm just letting that sit for a minute. Drink some coffee. Because I don't want to start the transfer while the paper's too wet. We've had this conversation before in previous videos. I'm just kind of watching how the light kind of bounces off the transfer. The more shiny, the more water is in that area, and we're just avoiding those shiny patches so we don't accidentally smear the underglaze underneath. This one is definitely on the simple side for sure, but like I'm very much here for it because Silence of the Lambs is a great movie, good reference, good creepy reference. And again, these are my favorite style of skulls that I have to work with, and the fact that I hadn't used them yet in this series is kind of crazy. I used to get skulls a ton, although when I redid the way the sheets are laid out. I redo it every new series to try to get as much variation as possible. And in the past, skulls were their own subject category because I have so many of them. And so they would get rolled a lot because they were their own subject. And on this series, I put skulls in with the spooky section instead of having their own little section. And it definitely pulled them out of rotation quite a bit more, clearly quite a bit more, considering we made it this far into the series before pulling them. Okay, can't remember how exactly I had this lined up, but that looks good. So let's go with that. Tamp down this end, and then this end, and we'll just go for it. As always, I love ending my transfers on a design that has like its own personality. It doesn't just end at a straight line cut with the design like cut off in a weird way. Incorporating the design with where the design ends, like incorporating itself into how you cut the transfer, I think is an important way to like really level up your underglaze transfer game. Taking that extra time to just cut things out, in my opinion, makes a world of difference with making things just look more crisp and clean and like complete. Oh, heck yeah. That's cool. And that's it. That's the design for today. Quick and easy, and I really like it. I'm very happy.